And the IRS scandal continues with new information about Democrats pressuring the IRS to investigate right-wing groups, he tried to say, in an election year. And we are talking big-name Senate Democrats. Liz MacDonald is here with more in EMAC's Bottom Line. Liz, who are these senators?
There are 10 senators, Dennis, and it's Senators Levin, Baucus, Al Franken, and Chuck Schumer, among others. So we're now tracking 10. And the pressure started in 2010 after the Citizens United decision that the president decried in his State of the Union address. Let's go to what they were saying in the letters. We also have Representative Peter Welch out of Vermont. He's saying we urge the IRS to investigate 501c4s for improperly engaging in political campaign activity. His letter to IRS Doug Shulman did not name names of groups that they wanted targeted, but Carl Levin did name names. He was essentially saying to the IRS, listen, you're acting passively, you're behaving passively. The Lois Lerner's response to me about the need for the IRS to act is unsatisfactory. If we can show Senator Levin's letter, he also said, how long after a complaint to the IRS does a compliance review begin? And Dennis, he cited in his letter to the IRS, Senator Levin cited a dozen groups they wanted looked at, including Americans for Tax Reform, the Club for Growth, and the 60-Plus Association. So I'll tell you something, the fact that there were now 10 congressmen, Democrats, pressuring the IRS to do something, we don't know if there's even more Democrats involved or other Republicans involved as well.
So given that Congress itself is outraged with the IRS intrusions for the Tea Party targeting is investigating it, and that members of Congress themselves were calling on the IRS to investigate Tea Party groups, is this going to blunt a congressional investigation? What's the impact?
Well, the impact is now whether or not members of Congress should look at each other and see who was doing what and saying what to the IRS. And, I'll tell you something. Senators Schumer and Franken, among the other 8 Democrats who wrote to the IRS saying, listen, if you don't act, we're going to pass legislation that will change IRS rules. They urge the IRS to take steps immediately to prevent abuse of the tax code by political groups. But somewhere in the process, Dennis, this turned into targeting of only conservative groups. So somewhere there's a missing link in the story between the Democrats pressuring the IRS to act and then the IRS using key words such as Tea Party or Patriot to go after conservative groups that were their ideological opponents.
Yeah, the question is whether the objection was that, my gosh, the IRS is targeting Tea Party versus with the IRS just to make sure that no groups make bogus claims to tax exemption when actually they're political. If the IRS had only stepped up investigations of liberal progressive groups as well, they'd be not in this trouble right now, maybe.
Well, they could be, it depends. So, the story is still unfolding. We're going to stay on the developments as they come and bring them to you.
All right. Thanks very much, Lizzie MacDonald.
Sure.